Linda sits alone at her kitchen table in Denver, staring at the man she married 43 years ago, wondering when he became a stranger. Not because he changed, because she finally woke up. She's one of thousands. Women in their 60s, 70s, 80s, quietly disconnecting from marriages they once believed would last forever. They're not filing for divorce. They're just gone, emotionally checked out, present in body, absent in spirit. And here's what nobody tells you about this silent epidemic sweeping through long-term marriages. When a woman reaches this point, there's rarely a way back. The door doesn't just close, it locks from the inside. So what causes this devastating shift? What makes a devoted wife transform into an emotionally distant stranger? Today, I'm revealing 7 patterns that destroy marriages after decades together. These aren't opinions or theories. These are documented realities I've uncovered through extensive research and hundreds of intimate conversations with real couples. If you're a husband, this might be uncomfortable, but it could rescue your relationship. If you're a wife, you're about to feel deeply validated. Let's dive in. Pattern number 1. She became his caretaker instead of his companion. This destroys more marriages than anything else. Somewhere between year 10 and year 30, many wives realize they've stopped being a partner and started being a parent to a grown man. They're exhausted from scheduling his medical checkups, managing his prescriptions, organizing his entire existence like he's incapable of basic adult functioning. She doesn't want another child to raise. She wants an equal. Consider Linda from Tampa, age 68. She shared with me, "I coordinate more for him than I ever did for our actual children. The difference? Our kids eventually became independent." The research confirms her experience. Even in retirement, women handle approximately 70% of household coordination. Bills, groceries, social planning, health management. The invisible labor never ends. And what happens to romance when you're mothering your spouse? It evaporates. She can't view him romantically anymore. He's transformed into another obligation on her endless list. But the worst part? Initially, wives resist this dynamic. They request help. They remind repeatedly. They plead. They exhaust themselves trying to communicate. Could you please handle the dishes? Could you remember your doctor's appointment? Could you just pay attention? Year after year after year. And for a while, they persist because they're optimistic. They believe he'll eventually mature, finally recognize her exhaustion, finally become the partner she needs. But eventually, something fundamental breaks. Women stop fighting when they realize the battle was never winnable. They redirect their energy inward. They stop requesting. They stop expecting. They stop hoping. And when their husband fails to meet them, halfway, they silently detach. There's no dramatic confrontation, no announcement, no visible change. She simply stops investing emotionally, and that's when the marriage truly ends. Not on paper, but where it matters most, in the heart. Linda told me, "I used to weep when he dismissed me. Now I feel nothing. That emptiness is terrifying." That's the dangerous moment. When a wife stops protesting, most husbands misinterpret the silence. He assumes, "Great, she finally stopped complaining. We're good now." You're not good. She didn't stop because things improved. She stopped because she surrendered her last hope. So, gentlemen, if your wife suddenly went silent, stopped reminding you, stopped requesting help, stopped expressing frustration, that's not harmony. That's resignation. And once she resigns, recovering what you had becomes nearly impossible. Pattern number 2. Retirement eliminated the buffer, and he never created a new purpose. During his working years, there was separation, time apart, room to breathe individually. Now he's home constantly, every single day. And suddenly she's supposed to become his permanent entertainment, his entire social infrastructure, his reason for existing. Retirement removed the buffer. Maria from Boston shared. I anticipated retirement eagerly, freedom for my interests. Instead, he shadows me constantly, questioning what I'm doing every 10 minutes. I'm suffocating. This devastates countless marriages. Many men exit the workforce with zero hobbies, no friendships beyond work colleagues, no passions beyond their career. So they expect their wife to fill that massive void. But here's the deeper crisis. He lost his career, but he never architected a new identity. For decades, his self-concept centered on work. He was the breadwinner, the professional, the person with responsibilities and importance. Then, overnight, nothing. No meetings, no objectives, no structure. Just endless empty hours. What does he do? He turns to his wife, expecting her to provide meaning to his existence. But she's not a hobby. She's not entertainment. She's not his purpose. James from Seattle, age 71, confessed, "My wife and I spend all day together now, but it's painfully awkward. I used to wish we had more time to connect. Now we have unlimited time and I'm lost for words." Here's reality. He didn't just lose employment. He lost his role and never constructed a replacement. Think strategically. When businesses enter new markets, they don't stagnate. They pivot, they innovate, they develop new frameworks. Life after career works identically. You need a redesigned system. If you don't architect a new role, your marriage collapses into dysfunction. Many men retire thinking relaxation is the goal, while their wives think full-time caregiving just became their new job. That imbalance annihilates marriages. The equilibrium that sustained decades suddenly shatters. You're together constantly, yet feel more disconnected than ever. Why? Because physical proximity isn't emotional presence. So, what's the answer? Redesign your role deliberately. Don't become a bystander in your own life. Become an active contributor. Handle groceries yourself. Master cooking. Plan your own schedule. Develop hobbies independent of your wife. Because here's the truth. Without separate interests, friendships, or activities, a woman feels imprisoned. She feels like she lost her freedom when you gained yours. And that bitterness slowly destroys whatever love remains. Retirement should bring peace, but for many couples, it creates unbearable pressure. So, gentlemen, if you're retired or approaching retirement, ask yourself honestly, what's my new role? If you can't answer that question, figure it out immediately before you lose what matters most. Pattern number 3. He stopped genuinely listening. In the beginning, conversations had depth. He asked about her day, her aspirations, her concerns. But somewhere along the journey, he stopped listening authentically. Now he offers hollow responses. Yeah. Sure. Eyes fixed on the television, mind somewhere else entirely. Sarah from Atlanta shared, I can speak for 10 minutes straight and he retains nothing. It's like addressing empty space. That's not merely frustrating. It's soul-crushing. Because when a woman doesn't feel heard, she starts feeling invisible. And most men don't recognize they're doing it. They believe they're listening, but they're not. They're waiting for their turn to speak or thinking about something completely unrelated. Genuine listening means eye contact, follow-up questions, remembering what she mentioned last week. Don't make your wife feel invisible. Small efforts create massive impact. If you can't recall your last real conversation with your wife, the kind where you actually looked at her, asked meaningful questions, genuinely cared about her answers, you're contributing to the problem. Small gestures outweigh grand ones, a sincere thank you, undistracted listening, helping with daily tasks. These preserve connection. Love doesn't vanish overnight. It fades when we stop demonstrating appreciation. Pattern number 4. The household labor burden remains endless. This infuriates women. Even after retirement, even in their 70s, women still manage most household work. Dishes, laundry, cooking, cleaning. And the most painful part? Many husbands act like it's insignificant. Patricia from Minneapolis shared, "I've done laundry for 52 years. He's never washed a single load, not even once." 52 years. Let that register. What begins as minor irritations, dirty dishes abandoned in the sink, clothes scattered on the floor, eventually transforms into profound resentment. The woman starts questioning, "Why must I continue doing everything?" And here's the harsh reality. Many men grew up in an era where household work was considered women's responsibility, so they never learned. And now, at 70, they resist learning. But that's not justification, that's selfishness. Men from that generation often prioritize themselves exclusively. They never considered someone else's needs beyond their own comfort. After a lifetime of being treated as secondary, many wives finally say enough. If you're relaxing while your wife cleans the kitchen for the 1,000th time, you're communicating that her time holds no value. That's how love dies. Gradually, one neglected responsibility at a time. Pattern number 5. She evolved, but he remained stagnant. As women age, many pursue growth actively. They want to travel, acquire new skills, join organizations, volunteer, engage with the world meaningfully. But when their husband refuses to evolve, refuses to grow alongside them, they feel trapped, like they're outgrowing the marriage itself. Carol from Denver told me, "I wanted to enroll in an art class. He called it wasteful. I wanted to visit Rome. He said we're too old. Every suggestion I make, he rejects." What did Carol do? She stopped suggesting and started emotionally withdrawing. When a woman feels like she's expanding while her partner stagnates, the emotional distance grows exponentially. She looks at him wondering, "Is this my entire future? Is there nothing more?" And that's when she starts checking out emotionally. Pattern number 6. Physical and emotional intimacy vanished. Intimacy extends beyond sex. It's feeling emotionally connected, feeling desired, feeling truly seen. Over time, many couples lose this spark entirely. And for a woman, this loss signals that love itself is disappearing. If a woman no longer feels desired, if her husband no longer looks at her with appreciation, she begins emotionally detaching. Rachel from Portland shared, "We haven't held hands in years. He only touches me when he wants something specific. I feel like a housemate, not a wife." That's devastating because touch matters profoundly. Eye contact matters. Small gestures matter. A forehead kiss, a hand on her shoulder sitting close together. These aren't dramatic romantic gestures, but they sustain connection. Without them, marriage becomes cold, distant, hollow. Love isn't always emotion. It's consistent action. Pattern number 7. She no longer feels heard or valued. This is the most excruciating pattern. Many women, after years serving as the family's emotional foundation, reach a breaking point where they feel their voices became meaningless. They express concerns, share feelings, attempt meaningful dialogue, but their husbands don't truly listen. A wife doesn't need extravagant gestures. She needs to feel heard. She needs knowing that her thoughts, opinions, and emotions still hold significance. When that stops, she withdraws. And once she does, recovery becomes extremely difficult. Diane from Philadelphia said, "I told him I was unhappy 3 separate times. He dismissed me as overdramatic. So I stopped communicating. Now we barely speak. When a woman feels ignored sufficiently long, she stops trying. And once she stops trying, love transforms into silent bitterness. Women reach a breaking point, and when they do, they're finished. Even if a woman stays physically, when she's emotionally done, she is completely done. So what's possible now? Here's encouraging news. It's not too late. Love doesn't have to fade, but it demands action. If you're a husband watching this, here's what you can do immediately. Look at your wife. Truly look at her. Ask sincerely, "How are you feeling? What do you need from me?" Help around the house. Don't wait for requests, just contribute. Listen, not with partial attention, with complete focus. Show appreciation. Say thank you. Say, "I see you." Say, "You matter to me." These aren't grand romantic gestures, but they're what sustains love. And if you're a wife feeling disconnected, understand this. You're not alone. You're not being dramatic. Your feelings are completely valid. As we navigate later, life, relationships aren't about dramatic gestures, but about presence, understanding, and respect. Love doesn't disappear in one catastrophic moment. It fades in the small, unnoticed ones. But it can also reignite if both people commit to trying. Marriage isn't about reaching a destination. It's about continuously choosing each other, even when years have changed you both. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Love isn't lost with age. It's lost when we stop nurturing it. It's never too late to begin. Thank you for watching. If this resonated with you, please like this video and subscribe to SageCast. Leave a comment sharing your thoughts. I read every single one. Until next time, take care of yourself and your relationships. They're life's greatest treasures.